Right. The NISTI is affiliated with the Textile Institute, Manchester. It's a globally respected body in textiles. This association allows us to stay connected with international developments while contributing meaningfully to the Indian and global textile landscape. What I value most about NISTI is its role as a true think tank, which brings together professionals from across the entire fiber to fashion value chain, whether it is technical textiles, sustainability, design manufacturing, or retail. It creates a space where ideas are exchanged, innovations are nurtured, and meaningful collaborations are formed. Over the years, NISTI has worked towards knowledge enrichment through seminars, conferences, and webinars like the one we are doing today. It plays a crucial role in recognizing excellence, mentoring young professionals, and building strong industry-academia linkages. Despite operating without regular government funding, NISTI continues to thrive thanks to the commitment and support of its patrons, partners, and well-wishers. This spirit of collective contribution is what keeps the organization vibrant and impactful. In recent times, NISTI has expanded footprint significantly, organizing sessions on sustainability, emerging technologies, and global trends, ensuring that we as professionals stay informed, relevant, and future ready. And today's seminar would really be a lot about that. I think we all are very eager to hear. So I would like to first invite our esteemed chairman, Dr. R.A. Lal, to share a few words of address the tone of the webinar today. Dr. Lal, may I invite you to take the floor, please?
Thank you, Professor Nien, and nice of you of giving a brief background of NISTI and what it is doing and how it become popular. Let me add to it that because of all distinguished guests, speakers, these well-qualified speakers, and our selection of speakers, the NISTI webinars have become international. And I have seen in the past the professors and research scholars from Dhaka, Pakistan, and London, Turkey also. They have asked for the certificate for participation of NISTI webinars. NISTI webinars are normally full to the capacity, and at present also 79 persons have already joined and more to join there. Definitely it will be 100 persons, which is our Zoom capacity, and which is a very honorable presence for any organization for the webinars which is being organized by them. I need not say that there are certain organizations which are very popular, and 2, 3, 4 organizations joined together, and I have hardly seen their presence as 30, and out of those 30 also, at least 20 are the organizations. So that way our NISTI team should feel proud, and we should be thankful to our well-qualified speakers and distinguished guests. Some of them join very regularly. They don't even miss a webinar like Ravi Shankar Gopal. There are so many. Today, Vijay Gotmare also has joined, who is our learned speaker and very well-qualified person, who is very well connected to our principal's Textile Institute, Manchester, and is a well-qualified person from VJTI. He was professor in VJTI. So let me do my duty of formally welcoming all distinguished guests, esteemed NISTI professionals, industry colleagues, academicians, students, and dear participants. It is very welcome, warm welcome to you all. In today's webinar on AI in textile designs, possibilities, challenges, and the future of creativity. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome our distinguished speaker, Sri Roshan Singh, a noted creative visionary, strategic design advisor, and founder of Board Design Studio and the AI Design Lab. His pioneering work at the intersection of creativity, technology, and design innovation has inspired many professionals and young designers across the textile and fashion ecosystem. Artificial intelligence is no longer a futuristic concept. It is rapidly becoming an integral part of modern textile and fashion practices. From trend forecasting and motif generation to virtual sampling and intelligent creative workflows, AI is redefining how ideas are conceived, developed, and brought to market. It is enabling designers to experiment faster, reduce waste, enhance customization, and discover entirely new dimensions of creativity. Let me say at this juncture that many people are fearing that AI, when introduced in the textile design or other industry on full speed basis, then there will be a problem of workforce employment. There may be many unemployment creations. The same fear was created when computer came into India. So my optimistic view is that even if AI comes, we will be generating more jobs rather than losing it. My only concern is that AI requires huge data collection and huge setup of servers, which will require a lot of water consumption for cooling these servers. So that may be a challenging task when AI comes in full swing to the textile industry and other industries. But there is no issue. India is competent enough to handle all these issues. At the same time, AI also raises important questions regarding originality, ethics, craftsmanship, intellectual property, and the role of human imagination in artistic expression. As an industry deeply rooted in both heritage and innovation, textile stands at a fascinating crossroads where technology and creativity must work hand to hand. Today's session is therefore extremely timely and relevant. We are privileged to have with us a speaker who has been actively exploring and shaping this evolving domain. I am confident of Mr. Roshan Singh. Roshan Singh insights on trend forecasting, motif and pattern development, virtual sampling, creative workflows, craft innovation, and the future possibility of AI-driven design will all greatly benefit all participants and stimulate meaningful discussion. So I again assure Mr. Salil Chawla, this is another quality webinar of NISTI, and you will definitely enjoy. So on behalf of NISTI, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our speakers for sparing his valuable time to address this August gathering. I also thank all participants again for joining this webinar and showing keen interest in emerging technologies that are transforming the textile sector globally. With these words, I formally welcome you all and invite Professor Nien Siao, a NISTI Pattern, our executive committee member and our asset for the NISTI to conduct the further proceedings. Thank you and best wishes for an enriching session. Thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. Lal. I think it's time now we turn to Roshan for, but before that, I just want to point out some key highlights which he will be covering, and also a little bit about himself, since he has so much credit to his name, to the kind of work he's done. Today's talk is on AI in textile design, the possibilities, challenges, and the future of creativity. I think all of us who are in the creative field have quite a few trepidation about what's going to happen. And he's here to set our minds at rest in some ways, but also the reality of what is going to happen so that we can be better prepared. What would he be covering? He would be talking about why AI in textile design matters now in these times. How do we get ready? Where AI enters the design process. I think all of us who are part of we all know that design has a process of starting, finishing, exploring, and then wrapping up. So he'll be talking about the design process, what are the creative possibilities and the key challenges. Let's hear our key challenges very carefully because we really have a lot of worries about it. And then finally, what is even AI, whether it comes and takes over, there are, of course, many responsibilities for people who are in context to the AI. So what is the responsible AI framework? So I'd like to just give a little background to Roshan. Roshan Singh is a creative visionary, strategic designer, founder, and chief creative officer of Mood Board Design Studio. He has 20 years of experience across fashion, textiles, home interiors, and creative education. He is known for seamlessly blending heritage with contemporary design and AI innovation. He has been a former chief creative officer at Sarita Handa and has led global collections, built high impact creative teams, shaping design directions for both interiors and international and domestic market. His current work focuses on integrating AI into design, workflows, creative direction, and accelerating ideation, visualization, and production-ready development while preserving originality and design authorship. He has been recognized among the top 10 chief creative officers in 2022 and 23 and named an influential business leader of 2024. Featured on the cover of C-Suite Outlook magazine in 2026, Roshan is regarded as a leading voice at the intersection of design, technology, and strategy, actively shaping the future of creative industries. Welcome, Roshan. We are really awaiting what you all have to say. May I request all the participants to please put your audio on silent for the time being. If you have any questions, you may put it down in the chat box, or at the end of the presentation, you may raise your hands and we will take your questions to Mr. Roshan Singh. Welcome, Roshan. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much, Dr. Lal, Professor Nien, and NISTI for organizing this webinar and inviting me to share my journey into AI design. So today's topic, as Professor Nien mentioned, that AI in textile design, I will be covering possibilities, challenges, and the future of creativity. So today, my discussion is not only, AI as a speed tool or automation. I want to focus on, I want to look at as this as a new collaborator, a very, very powerful creative collaborator, one that can help us research faster, visualize better, explore more directions, and rethink how we design. But at the same time, AI also brings important questions around originality, ethics, authorship, craft sensitivity, and human responsibility. So today's session is really about one central thought. AI can accelerate creativity, but it cannot replace creative judgment. So as we all know that AI has already entered to our creative industry, and I believe the conversation should move beyond insecurities, fear, hype, and replacement of narratives and all that. So AI is not creativity, by itself. It is a tool, a very powerful creative tool, but the real value still comes from human thinking, our experience, taste, judgment, storytelling, cultural understanding, ethical responsibility, and knowing what deserves to exist. So in today's design world, the question is no longer should designer use AI. So it's not a question, the more important question is how intelligently, ethically, responsibly, and professionally we are using it. So that's the biggest question. So I look forward to sharing some practical industry perspective on this, AI-assisted textile and fashion workflows, trend forecasting and color explorations, how to visualize faster sampling visualization and a collection development, originality and creative responsibility, how human and AI can collaborate together for a future of a design. So first, let me take you through a very simple example of a design workflow, be it textile or a fashion. If we look at a traditional workflow, we start with a brief, research, concept, motif, artwork, design exploration, motif, color, and repeat exploration, then a mock-up, then a review. So if we look at the entire traditional workflow, it is around, depending on a category, complexity, sampling cycle, team structure, infrastructure, and all that, it's 45 to 90 days timeline. And if we look at AI-assisted design workflow, from decoding the brief, market, generate visual territories, explore motif, and the same kind of thing, except the sampling timeline. So if we look at this is around 5 to 15 days work. Again, depending on your sampling stage, minus your product category, complexity, and team structure and everything. So if we look at how it is compressing the entire timeline from, if I minus sampling period, look at it's just from month to 2 months to 5 to 15 days. It may be a quicker also depending on how complex is the design brief. So if I look at both the workflows and how I differentiate both the workflows is, in a traditional workflow, multiple manual iteration happens, higher sampling dependency, slower approvals, limited exploration bandwidth, higher development cost and a time, more time spent reaching the clarity. Because why I'm saying reach clarity? Because, like a designer is working, with the traditional method of sketching and developing a swatches and doing a 3D rendering. And when it comes to aligning the entire leadership, including the buyer, the merchant, the entire stakeholders, because they don't come from a design background. So for them, it's very difficult to visualize looking at the 3D drawing or a sketch. So they are more comfortable looking at either a actual sample photograph or actual sample. Now, considering that challenges, if I look at the AI-assisted design workflow, it's a faster visual exploration, more visual clarity before sampling, better communication across teams, reduce sample waste, more time for refinement and strategy before production. So more time spent refining the clarity. So whatever we develop with AI workflow, we are not investing on a physical sample, not wasting any material. So we create everything with the AI as a 3D sample. And it's easy to align all the stakeholders, whether this will work or not work. So what happens is when alignment is done, then the team is developing only those selected samples, which we all are aligned. So it's a very focused sample development, and then we can pay more attention to quality, finishes, because end of the day, product will speak about your brand. So that is very, very important. So again, AI does not remove the design process. It compresses exploration time, allowing designer to think wider, validate faster, and refine stronger ideas before production begins. So it reduces the friction between imagination and visualization. So this is how we use the AI. So for example, if I look at possibility one, a faster research to sharper direction. So with AI, we can quickly do all the research, and we can quickly create the visual language, build a mood board, richer references, whether it's art, culture, or interiors, fashion, and craft. Translate ideas into 4 strong design territories. Test whether a concept has enough range for a full collection or not. So this is all what possibilities are with the AI. And as a design leadership point, AI can gather, visualize faster, but it cannot decide what is tasteful, commercially relevant, or a brand right without human direction or intervention. So use AI to expand references, use experience to select the right story. So it's not AI versus human. So AI is a layer, and then human is a topper layer where all the decision human has to take. So how AI studies, like I will start, how we do trend forecasting and studies with the help of AI. So how AI studies trend and forecast in fashion and textile. So it scans a massive data available on an online platform. It studies runways, retail, social media, street, interiors, culture, archive, consumer behaviors at a scale. And then the pattern recognition is what I would say the AI's key highlight. It identifies recurring colors, motifs, textiles, silhouettes, styling, textures, directions, and emerging aesthetic shifts. And also an analysis of a behavior. AI tracks how many clicks you have done, saves, searches, purchases, and shares engagement patterns to understand what consumer respond to. So AI processes signals faster, human interpret the meaning. So you will get all the data from the AI, but end of the day, human has to decide which one will work and which makes more meaning and which one to interpret. So what makes AI forecasting powerful? So crossing, across all category intelligence, whether it's a fashion, interior, or art, hospitality, architecture, lifestyle, or culture. So it checks all cross category intelligence, and then it does predictive capability. It detects the rising trends, saturated aesthetics, declining directions, and commercially scalable opportunities. And then like AI visualizations. So AI can instantly visualize mood boards, colorways, textile repeats, fashion concepts, and editorial storytelling based on whatever we have scanned, research, and everything. So trend forecasting is no longer only aesthetics today. It is a behavioral intelligence. And why human intelligence still matters, though we are talking about many that AI will eat up a job, this and that, insecurities and all. But still, human intelligence matters, and why it matters. So AI detects patterns, but human brings taste, judgment, emotional understanding, storytelling, and cultural sensitivity. Same tool, different outputs. Two people using the same AI tool will still create a very different quality outputs. So the future is not AI replacing creatives, it is AI and human collaboration. So the strongest future creatives may not be the ones with the most data, they may be the ones who know how to interpret it meaningfully. So I'm going to share few work which is done with AI. For example, this Automentor 2728 home textile forecast. So we are like the scanning, mapping, everything with the AI to identify which are the 3 macro trends for the home furnishing. So it's a very macro level where, we have 3 stories, the grounded sanctuary, the restorative ethereal, the digital optimism. So whatever you see here, including the visuals, the color palette, it's all Pantone TCX, and those all visuals are entirely created with the AI. And then further breaking down to individual mood board and giving a direction in terms of home, like what kind of a bedding, the fabric textures, the color palette. This is all done with the AI. So this is how quick, how fast it is, with the help of AI. So this is the second story, the restorative ethereal. And the third story, digital optimism. So this is a very macro kind of a level. Then you can get into a micro, depending on what market you are catering to, what kind of a design language your brand is doing. Depending on that, you can reinterpret these macro trends. And for example, this Dior 2026 spring summer ready to wear collection. This is just to give you example that I simply asked AI do a deep research on Dior spring 26 ready to wear collection and create a trend board from this show, showing silhouette, color, print and pattern, embroidery fabrics, accessories, create a visual board for each silhouette, color, print, pattern, embroidery, fabrics, and all that. So this is how we get the result. And you can further keep refining it depending on your requirement. So this is how quickly AI creates the board analyzing, studying, scanning the entire Dior SS26 ready-to-wear collection. And this is done within 5 to 10 minutes, depending on your prompt quality and your internet speed and on everything. And I will take you through one example, this collection, home collection called Wabi Woven, The Beauty of a Repair. And this entire collection is done using AI. So the concept development, brainstorming with AI that we want to create a collection inspired by a boro, and which is a age-old Japanese textile tradition. And we brainstorm with AI, and we came to this a concept, which is, this is a repair, this is a reverence, this is a remembering, like inspired by a boro Japanese technique. And then we developed this color palette, again entirely with AI, the Pantone numbers, this visual. And let's say this is a cushion collection, again, highlighting key features like what this cushion collection is all about. The key features like hand-placed patches, stitches of organic variation, indigo dyed, natural aged linen, and cotton-based. So entire this concept writing and key detailing is also done with AI. A few cushion collections, for example. So this is just to give you that what are the possibilities of using AI. You can create an entire collection, not a random, because today what is happening is we are using AI as a very fun part. Like you type a prompt, image will pop up like a magic, and we are enjoying the fun part. But here I would like to emphasize and share that if you pick AI very, very, like seriously, it will really, really help you to develop your entire textile or a fashion collection, from concept to a final proto. And creating a cohesive collection is challenging, where you have to maintain the entire color palette, the design language, the aesthetic throughout the entire collection, be it cushion, bedding, kitchen linen, your rugs or your furniture. So this collection will give you that kind of an insight that how we have developed a cohesive collection. And you will see the variety of a cushion design in a same aesthetic, same inspiration. Now moving to a bedding line. Moving to a kitchen linen collection. So in this, there is no real product, no sampling, nothing. This is all AI generated. Moving to a wall art as a category, because wall art is a very growing category. And this is a year-old, this design exploration we have done. And this is just to show you, like even 1 year back also, the AI was helping us to develop the entire design workflow. But today, after 1 year, AI is very much more evolved, much more, like design clarity, detailing, and everything. So these are few accentures. And moving to a rugs and carpet category. One more example, taking again boro and sashiko as a source of inspiration and creating a fashion collection. So this entire mood board is created with AI, except 1 or 2 images taken from online references. The color palette and this entire menswear collection. This is little more towards the patch boro look, and this is more towards sashiko look. Same women's wear collection. So this entire thing is generated with AI. And today, the AI is, like much more evolved, and even this kind of technical drawing we can create with AI. Earlier, we used to take a lot of time, whether it's a Corel Draw or Illustrator, to create such technical drawing with such kind of detailing. But today with AI, it's just a matter of a few seconds or a minutes to create such technical drawings. So these are all AI generated technical drawings. And even taking further the collection for editorial kind of a content, like a photo shoot, and writing a text about that collection, the image, the mood, it's all like possible with AI. So these are few editorial kind of images with a little note. And even you can design the cover page. I'll show you a little quick video, which is also again done with AI. City lights blink, they got secrets to spill. Painted asphalt whispers, soulful chill. Clouds pass slow like memories that fade. Walking through the midnight, chasing dreams we made. Okay, next collection. This is the entire mood board, again generated with completely AI. And each element, each visual, each motif is done with AI. So this is just to show you the potential of AI. If we put AI as one of the, like I would say a team member or a collaborator, the potential it brings, the human mind and AI can do a lot of things, like the way this is done. And for example, today AI image you can generate with many ways. You can just write and describe your design through a prompt. You can get the image, and you can do a quick sketching or a doodling like this we have done. For example, you will see a hand sketch on my left side, and these are few explorations done with the different AI tools. And it's not that each AI tool will give you the right kind of output. So you have to keep experimenting, keep understanding each AI tools, their strength and weaknesses. So what I liked is the upper top three, which has a perfect translation of what I have envisioned in my sketch. But looking at the bottom sketches, the output, though like they are very close to, but it's not very perfect like the upper ones. So AI doesn't mean that it will always give you a perfect output. It depends on the quality of your prompt, how you describe your prompt, and what kind of output you want. So it's a quality of a prompt is very, very important along with the sketch. And one more example here, like I will just show you from like how I started from sketch to a mock and turnaround video. And I will also show you that, like this is another example of sometime, as I said, AI is also, like depending on what kind of input you're giving. So if AI is controlling you, then this is the result you will get. So with these two examples, what I'm trying to say is that we have to control the AI, not the other way. So when you totally leave it to AI interpretation, these are the mistake happens. And so it's very important that what kind of output we are looking from AI. So we have to control AI. They won't create its own. If it is, then this is the kind of result you will get. And, like looking at, so prompt is again very important. Looking at this sketch and look at the the visual you get here. The pleating, the motif placement, it's perfectly translated into a virtual sample. And this is a very quick sketching of, let's say, a lehenga and a blouse. And the way AI has interpreted the front view, side view, back view, and a lifestyle shot, and a little detail about the blouse embroidery and all. So this is done so quickly and so seamlessly with AI that it gives you that how my sketch is, my design is going to look actual on as a product on a model or a person. So that gives you a kind of a decision making quicker that whether we should develop or not. For example, this bandgala, just a rough sketch and translation into an actual mock sample. And again, this a denim dress, a rough sketch to a flat drawing front, back, and to visualizing to actual sample. And today AI is so powerful, even they can create a detailed tech pack like this. Yes, you have to check as a human, you have to have a checkpoint that AI can make mistakes, but that's why I'm saying we don't have to leave it entirely on AI. We have to do a like a checkpoint, a review system here. And with AI, the possibilities of creating any kind of a design, whether it's a Western, whether it's a ethnic, whether it's a athleisure, all possibilities are there. You have to just, like ideate and make a very clear a brand guideline that what you want to create with that. And for example, this a very print-driven kind of a collection. And so that was to show you that what are the possibilities with AI. And today, as a textile design, I look at print development, not only a print development, even embroidery, weave, jacquard. There are many, many possibilities with this. And so how we do, like use AI, it's for a motif, like generation, like you can create a multiple motif families, floral, geometric, folk inspired, abstract, and tropical, chinoiserie, toile de joy, and all that. And even a style calibration like hand painted, woodblock, crewel, jacquard, ikat, all kind of a style calibration you can do. You can create a repeat also, and you can create a variation of like a print families for a collection, hero print, and supporting or a coordinated print kind of print collection you can create. So the important thing here is AI images are not automatically production ready textile designs. Designer must still control the repeat, scale, color count, hand feel, and techniques. So AI will create the visual, but end of the day, whether it's for a digital print or a rotary print or for a screen print or for a block print, that we have to control and give a direction to that. For example, this print language, this is entirely developed with AI. And if I look at the traditional way of working, we need a lot of hand artists to paint this. And each artist, they have their own strengths and weaknesses. So you might end up hiring a lot of artists to do a different artwork and then translate this to a print using a textile designer or a CAD designers to scan, clean, and put in a repeat. But with AI, it's just a matter of a few minutes, depending on your quality of a prompt. Even this, so look at the kind of a variety we develop with AI. So abstract, this tie and dye look, brush strokes, geometrics, style look. And this is how the repeat also comes with the AI. Like you can create a seamless repeat with the AI. And this is the different style using the same prompt, like whether it's a line outline with a brush stroke or a dry brush look, or this is like a knife paint look or a canvas look, or just a black and white kind of a look, chinoiserie kind of a ink style, outline abstract, stippling and dotting. So these are all style variation created with AI. And I would say, this is where I see advantage of using AI to explore all different kind of style techniques. You're not investing on any kind of a material, paint and all that. I'll give you one example of this. This is my hand painted few artworks, and these are 3 artworks which I have painted. And I wanted to explore more variation. Either I paint and keep exploring, or I take AI help to help me with my other exploration, these as my key artwork. So this is how I have explored using my key artwork, which is originally hand painted, and taking to AI, further exploring different layouts and design layout and scale, and also visualizing that artwork on a menswear jacket, how it will look in terms of scale, placement, and everything. And then further, I explored a little more variation for a women's wear, where again checking how it will look on a dress or a jacket. So again here, I am like trying to visualize, not spending too much just creating the artwork. I have my key artworks, master artwork is ready, and rest I am taking AI's help. And also to visualize those artwork, how it will look on a product, as a wallpaper. Yeah, like tie and dye, we all understand that it's a very, very intricate, time consuming, and but with AI, you can even create, these are not real tie and dyes. This is all AI generated tie and dyes. And they look as real as a real tie and dye. So how this helps the artisan is that without randomly doing any sampling, first we create the design layout that this is what the result we want to achieve. And this will help the artisan to, create the design, tying and everything as per this layout. And even we can visualize this as a art piece and doing a kind of a setup where we put exhibition, art exhibition. So this is just my thought, my creative direction and visualization, how I should be using this tie and dye product. And this is one more example that how you can explore your, let's say, a floral collection without investing, or without doing a lot of artwork. You are just exploring with the help of AI, different scale, different floral, and different layout. So it helps you to also create that what exactly you want, rather spending your time just painting and creating prints with Photoshop, CAD, or anything. And then once you finalize your artwork, then you can easily visualize how it will look on a bedding, whether it's your duvet cover or a pillows or a headboard, or your wall cover, or your upholstery, or even your blinds. So it's a very, very easy, I would say, a sale tool for the entire team to come into a conclusion, alignment that whether this will work or not work. The same print, you can visualize as a dress, as a skirt, as a top, as a corset, as athleisure. So these are the many, many possibilities which AI helps to visualize. And to collect these kind of a printed bedding collection, and where you are not investing on any artwork, you are just first want to create a concept. And these are few rugs inspired from a spring floral. So it's not limited to any one product category. AI gives you an immense kind of a possibilities across all categories, whether it's furniture, rug, apparel, anything. So this is a rug, and even to visualize how you would like to do a shoot or a display of this rugs, if you have to put up as a a little exhibition. And these are few embroidered cushion. Again, these are not real cushions. And initially, we just wanted to see with the embroidery that what kind of embroidery cushion we want to develop, exploring different techniques, motifs. And this is one collection inspired by a beautiful, moth. And this is a editorial concept of this embroidered cushion. And you can explore embroideries, different techniques with the AI, like different, all techniques are possible. Not, I would say 100%, but sometime yes, sometime not, depending on AI tool and the quality of a prompt. And even to the extent AI can help you to create a khaka, which is a very time consuming, drawing. So this is all artwork, khaka we create with AI. And this is a Truponto quilt, which is a very, very tedious quilting technique. And it takes a lot of craftsmanship, expertise, and time to develop such quilt. But today with AI, before investing time, the team and the material, I can easily visualize whether this kind of a design will look okay or not to develop. Even to visualize like how the lifestyle shoot has to be done for this. And so now look at almost your things are ready as a product. And these are few wall art inspired from nature, and these are all like embroidered art pieces, wall art. You can visualize and you can give it to your artisan to translate this. And for them, it's very easy to translate, because now you have a direction, what kind of a color palette you want to use, what kind of embroidery technique you want to use. So then the artisan will do a very focused kind of a work that they have to translate this in actual piece. And these are few embroidery badges inspired by a collar. And so this will again help the embroidery team to develop, in terms of color usage, material, whether it's a thread embroidery, whether it's a bead or a mix of both, and then to visualize that on a product. Let's say these as a patches on a denim jacket. And not only embroidery, the possibility is much more, like, for example, this weave, whether it's a jacquard or a dobby, without investing on any sample development, you can explore the pattern and the design with the help of AI. Once you like something, then you can invest the physical development, only the selected ones. Even like this, they look as good as like a real swatches, fabric swatches, but these are not real fabric swatches. These are all AI generated. Some fabric textures we can explore to develop, whether it's a boucle or a slub yarn, or like the kind of a mix of different yarn materials. And the third possibility is exploring, because today in our design world, color is very, very key important element which we cannot ignore. Color with pre-AI color way creation was a little time taking kind of a task. Yes, there are a lot of softwares available, but the software available was again it's a manual driven, like until unless a person is not making manually, it will not create automatically. But now that challenge is taken care by AI. And I'll just show you a few examples here. Like, for example, I have two artwork, and taking the color palette from the my earlier forecast autumn winter 27-28, that's 3-color palette. Now with this AI, I just gave AI my color palette and my artwork, and asked the AI to create the colorways. So look at the kind of a colorway they have created, and I'm totally satisfied what they have created. And look at the intelligence AI bring when they use the color palette. But manually, if you are doing, then you have to guide the CAD person that, okay, put this gray on the base or this dark blue on the base. But AI understands the pattern and understands the aesthetic, the kind of a data AI has. Based on that data, color usage, aesthetic, color play, they apply all those intelligence in creating these colorways. So this is a short snapshot that how AI workflow we have created. This is one of my, so how I have achieved this color palette is, this is a quick snapshot, screenshot of my workflow. So this is my prompt, this is my color keys I have shared with the AI, and these are my 3 color palette. So I asked the AI to, how they have to apply these colors, and this is what they have created here. So this is the workflow of creating AI colorways and how AI creates colorways. So AI studies the original artwork, structure, motif scale, composition, and visual balance. And then AI generates palettes are based on trend signals, emotional direction, and seasonality and consumer behavior patterns. So colors are selected using harmony, logic, contrast, balance, tonal hierarchy, and aesthetic compatibility. So this is what I was saying, that the intelligence AI is using to create colorways very, very, like I would say, amazing. So AI intelligently applies palette while maintaining depth, readability, and motif separation. Multiple color directions can be visualized instantly, like the way I have done here. And you can explore multiple colorways. So AI helps compare different emotional and commercial directions rapidly. Traditional manual coloring took, as I said, hours to hours, but here it's very instant. And I'll show you more like the possibility of creating colorways. You can create as many as you want, but end of the day, it's human mind who is going to decide which color for which market, which season is going to work. So end of the day, decision is human. AI can give you options, speed, and everything, but decision is human. So, like the possibilities of creating colorways and creating a color storyboard. For example, this jelly mint color palette. This is the entire mood board created with AI. This is again chromatically, like colorful color blocking color story. So this was all about how to use AI for colorways. And now moving to next possibilities, creating a virtual sampling before any physical sample development. So the biggest design advantage of AI is not only speed, it is early alignment. So how it helping the entire company brand is that we are not wasting on unnecessary sample development. We create a virtual sample and we align the entire stakeholders and the leadership that this is what we are going to create. And then alignment happens very quickly because all AI visual samples are as real as like any photo shoot. So for example, like how we create a virtual sample is I have my artwork and I have to create a bedding collection. So this is my bed sheet or a duvet or a quilt with pillows. I instruct to create a layout, and then I create a colorway using the same color palette, and then using the AI, how it will look as a mock-up on a bed. So it's a very quick decision for any team member to say yes or no, whether we should develop this or not. So this is a very easy decision making for any team member when they look at these kind of a visual sample. For example, this noisery inspired bamboo print. And for example, this embroidery on a denim jacket, it's a very, very time consuming and very expensive to do such sampling. But with AI, you can explore all kind of options and then decide which one to develop. So for example, let's say we want to develop this one, and with AI, just to visualize how it will look on a complete a set, like a jacket with a denim pant, front, back, and even a technical drawing of the jacket with embroidery placement and stitch detail. It's all possible with AI. And even the video of the jacket. So here, nothing is sampled, no real sample. You are not investing anything on any physical sample. This is still at a design and concept stage. So this is a little breakup of a comparison between traditional workflow and AI integrated workflow in terms of time and a cost. If we have to develop these 12 embroidered denim jacket, like if I look at ideation, research, concept, mood board, color design, exploration, in a traditional workflow, it will take 4 to 6 weeks and maybe 2 to 5 lakhs. And with the AI, 3 to 5 days, and maybe like from 75,000 to 2 lakh, depending on, because why AI, we are developing only selected focus sample. But in a traditional workflow, we are developing whether not knowing this will be okay or not okay, we end up developing too many samples. And the final sketch of the artwork and embroidery, proto and everything, timeline 6 to 8 weeks, from 8 to 18 lakhs, timeline again 3 to 4 weeks in a AI workflow, and 5 to 12 lakhs. And here, as I said, fewer iterations because you already have locked, closed the placement, scale, density, the look, the colorways in the AI sampling. And for the photo shoot and a video shoot of the collection for a catalog or a lifestyle campaign, so timeline would be 7 to 14 days, 6 to 25 lakh, depending on model, stylist, studio, location, production, retouch, edit, etc. But with the AI, it's 2 to 4 days and 1.5 to 6 lakhs, depending on like the kind of a studio you would like to engage. And AI visuals, video creation, direction, finishing, idea for like this is a pre-launch idea and to align the entire the team. So this is just to give you a little idea how both workflow, comparison, and the net impact typically 50 to 70 faster timeline and 25 to 55 lower development, content, and cost. You will see the difference here. And for example, this is one more, let's say, print artwork. So what we have done is we have created first a room mock-up with AI. This print is also AI generated, and then we created this room setup, and then we tried to see how it will look as a cushion with the upholstery, and like this is one of the upholstered sofa, and how it will look on a sofa. So this becomes very easy to see and decide and take a call. This is one more example of this jacquard fabric, how it will look on a chair, and little taking further, how the photo shoot of this will be done. So again, this is all AI generated. And few more examples. You create a artwork and visualize with the help of AI how the product will look. Few more examples. And this is a headboard, again, looking at the craft inspiration and how we can translate that fabric to a headboard before making any sample. The variety of possibilities in terms of design. And if you have to do such photo shoots, even the cost of arranging such furnitures, you have to stitch the product, you have to find a location, photographer, editors, and all that. Yeah, these furnitures. So this is all example of possibilities, how you can do a virtual sampling. And all of them look as real as a real product. If you don't tell anyone that these are AI, it's very difficult to detect. This Jamawar inspired fabric. The entire furniture collection inspired by same concept. So this is, I would like to, highlight here is that the entire furniture, if you look at, there is a variety in a furniture shape, but as a concept, as a color palette, as an inspiration, they all sit together. So this is where I see the gap is, once you use AI, but you know how to create the image, but you don't know how to create a cohesive collection, how to maintain that same color palette, same design language, same inspiration, same motive across all different product categories or within a product, different variations of a design. One more example of this tribal inspired. And this bedding collection, again, the entire thing is AI generated. The same concept of a Jamawar taking to a bedding collection. Yeah, this is again one more example. And I'll just show you a workflow for this. So this is my artwork, which I wanted as a quilt. And this is my another artwork I wanted as a duvet. I asked AI to create both the product as a quilt and duvet and show me on a bedding. So this is what AI has generated. And then further I asked that I want to create a different shot of this bedding. And then further I asked AI to create a different angle of these beddings. And this is how it came up. Like even the front view, side view, top view, zoom of the detailing, and again zoom, and then one outdoor location of the bedding shoot. So this is the entire workflow of this bedding. Yeah, one more bedding. So it's not that it's a print heavy, like it totally up to you what you want to create. So from a very maximalism kind of a design to a very minimalism kind of a design, for example, this, like a very, very minimal, very rich, very high-end luxury kind of a thing. Look at the texture of a velvet and the quilting pattern, like it's so real that you can't make out whether it's a real or AI. Even white on white, very tonal, the quality of the image, the quality of a design, everything looks so real. And this one shibori inspired as a print. Look at the detailing of like this motif translating into a curtain, upholstery, wall art, and a bedding. And one more example, like this is a rug. I thought do some editorial kind of a shoot, and so taking Northern Light as a background and pushing, like what today AI also, like making me, what I like about AI is how far I can push my creative boundaries, because earlier there was a limitation of a budget, developing product, waiting for product to finish, and then budget planning and planning the entire logistic of, traveling, model, stylist, photographer. Now those limitations are gone, like now I have my AI, and now how far I can push my creativity. So this is what I have visualized. Let's do this rug shoot with a Northern Light, and they look as real as a real photo shoot. The quality of the detailing of the rug, the model, the background, it's amazing. And this athleisure, I wanted to give a little retro look. So even, like I can achieve with my prompt and my creative direction to the AI. Yeah, this is one example of how even a brand they can do for their online photo shoot, whether they are selling through e-commerce or their own website, how to do a cataloging. So I'll just share a workflow of this. So this, I wanted to do a photo shoot of this dress. These are not my designs. I took this from my online references, just to give you example that how you can do an online photo shoot. So this is a dress I want to shoot, and then I wanted this kind of a makeup, this kind of a hairstyle, and a bag to carry to match the foot to the dress, and a matching footwear, and some pose reference. So this is what AI has created. And then further, I wanted to develop a zoom shot of upper, carrying the bag, side, back, and all. So this is all, like with one workflow, you can create multiple options. Same with this outfit. And few more, like this is an editorial shoot of a cushion. As I said, there is no limit of imagination. It's like, how far you can push. It's that. Creating this cover page. Okay, now moving to a craft revival using AI. But here we have to be, like how I'm using for some of the craft revival and how AI can help to explore all that. So what AI can do, help visualize contemporary directions inspired by craft vocabulary, stitch, language, layout, rhythm, borders, color, balance, and product storytelling. What designer must do? Research context, avoid direct copying, respect cultural symbols, credit craft, inspiration, and translate with sensitivity. So we all know what happened with Prada and Kolhapuri, kind of a situation we don't want to be. So when we are, AI can explore anything, but when you are doing a craft, or you're working on a craft, we have to have a very thorough research about that craft. So that is the only one, I would say, very, very difficult situation, that you shouldn't be doing a random craft exploration without knowing the context, region, history, and everything. So for example, so responsible innovation means inspiration is allowed, imitation is not. So for example, this is a Northeast textile. I come from a Northeast, so I thought, let me share a few examples from here. So this is a real sample of a Northeast textile, and I wanted to do some exploration taking this. So what I've done is I asked my AI to explore few possibilities using the same color palette. Let's develop a different weave pattern. So you will see all this are AI explored weave patterns without developing any sample. I've just shared a inspiration sample, and then further I asked AI to explore few options. And then after the exploration, whatever I liked, I tried to apply on apparel as a like a jacket, like whether it's a woven or you want to do embroidery, that translation we can do. So you can explore a different kind of a silhouettes, whether it's a dress or a jacket or skirt. And this was another sample. These are real samples. So I thought, let me explore without, investing unnecessarily developing these samples. So I took this one of my sample, and with the help of AI, how it will look on a cushion, how it will look as a bag, a lumbar, upholstery, headboard, as a wall art, as again bolster and cushions, as a blind, as the entire bedding kind of a concept. So this is all possible with AI, and I haven't spent anything on sampling development. I have just a swatch and taking that swatch. So this is what I'm trying to show is that once you have your master craft swatch or embroidery or a print, you can take AI help to explore the possibilities of product range or how it will look as a product on actual without investing or developing a sample. And even, like this, one of my daughter, wearing our ethnic wraparound skirt, and just taking that further, if I have to do a editorial kind of a photo shoot of that attire, how it will, like this is again taking AI help and giving a Northeast background. So now there is no investment of heavy team, styling, photographer, or a makeup artist or a model. You can do with the AI. You just need that aesthetic direction. A creative direction is very important here to direct the AI. Few explorations of, again, a background on Northeast. Yeah, one more example. I really love shibori, and we all know that it's a very time-consuming, very tedious, and this kind of intricate shibori is like you need a very a master craftsman to do all this, artisans to do this. So, but like I just wanted to see how AI can help me to explore this. So a wall art, and yes, like I would say not 100% possible, but my idea is there how it will look as a shibori, and rest depending on the expertise of the artisan, whether they will be able to achieve this, like maybe to a closure look is also okay, because the nature of shibori is that like because of a tying, color seeping, and after the result is very different, so that is all we all know, like how shibori, the character comes out after the product is done. But initial exploration is what I'm trying to emphasize here, that you can explore as many as like different kind of a layout, different motifs. Yeah, one more example of this. So this is a headboard inspired by our traditional charpai nivar weaving. And I wanted to give a little contemporary kind of a look, that how if headboard becomes a art piece in your room, and exploring different design layouts, different scale of the pattern, and keeping a black and white as a story, and with the coordinating bench, and different headboard designs within a bedroom setup, and one as an editorial setup where I try to give a tropical background, kind of a jungle. And the same concept, taking it in a color. So concept is same, but here it's more colorful, and same inspiration of a charpai weaving and a nivar weaving. And again, visualizing the same concept in a different location to give it more editorial kind of a look. So today, what I feel is, like I keep saying that human intelligence first, but as a textile designer, the new textile designer skill set in AI age. So what we have to understand is taste and curation first, selecting, editing, and rejecting AI options with confidence, because AI can generate endless kind of option. And end of the day, we as a designer, as a human designer, we have to uh, identify what will work, what won't work, and the selection editing is up to us. Prompt thinking. So prompt thinking becomes too important. It's not only drawing, sketching, because you have to tell, you have to guide you have to give a direction to AI. So what you want, until unless your prompt thinking is very strong, very detailed, or to the point, like it's you're asking someone, if you are very clear that what you want, the person won't be able to deliver you what you want until unless you are not very clear with what you are saying. Same thing applies here. Like your prompt thinking is very important. Giving clear visual direction, not random kind of a tool command, beautiful, awesome. No, you can't do that. You have to be very precise. You want Kantha stitch, you want Shibori, you want what you want. Like the detail has to be very, very, design thinking, very strong. And a textile knowledge, fashion knowledge is very, very important. Today AI is not a domain specific. It's very, very generic. It's meant for all creative industry, not specific to textile or a fashion. Whether it's like image generation or a video generation AI tools, they don't understand until unless your expertise brings value to command that AI tool. So today, if I'm commanding AI because of my expertise, my product understanding, my experience. So textile or a fashion knowledge is very important, like the repeat, scale, weave, print, embroidery, colors, cost, production feasibility, and all that. So product and domain understanding is very, very important. Then only you can command the AI. Storytelling today is becoming very, very important. If you look at any social media platform, today you can't sell a product just like that, like until unless it has some meaning, some storytelling behind that. So turning visual output into collection, meaning and buyer communication becoming very, very important. So today the expectation from a designer is not to just sit and design. Like you have to, your role is becoming more wider. Whatever you are creating, you should be able to tell a story, like what is your inspiration, what is a concept, what is your point of view. And the most important is ethical judgment, knowing when the reference, when to credit and when to avoid. So AI amplifies the designers who already has the direction, and it exposes the designer who is only chasing the output. So you have to decide which direction you have to go. The real challenges in AI-led textile design: originality risk. So output may look close to references, artist or existing brand language. So this is the biggest challenge today. Sameness risk. Many users create visually similar AI aesthetics because they copy paste each other's prompt. They don't generate their original prompt output and all that. So sameness risk is there until you don't create your own original prompt. Copyright uncertainty. So AI generated content raises ownership, authorship, and licensing questions. Yes. So in a traditional manner, when we create a design, we document the entire journey of our design, from sketching to painting to artwork making, and we file it. Same way today, I tell everyone that you have to document your entire journey of that creation, how you have created the prompt and referencing. And so there is a time stamp on each AI generations. So it's very easy to catch, but why to go that way that you are copying any designer or a brand design? Why to get into all that? So you have a AI as a partner, as a collaborator, a very creative collaborator. Just be original and work with your original ideas. And one more thing here, the cultural sensitivity is very, very important. Today, people are using craft like they're taking out for a granted, like you cannot do that, because we have to respect each craft and heritage motifs. And before using that, we need to have a thorough research. And also we are seeing that there is a data bias. AI reflects the data it has seen. It may over represent certain aesthetics. So this happens, depending on how you are using the AI and how you are asking your input and how you are prompting is done. So like we see do that data bias is, happen sometime. And the production gap. So production gap is when even today, if a kids can generate a beautiful image, but without understanding the production understanding. So this is a big gap that designers, without understanding the technicality of a production feasibility, market feasibility, they do create beautiful product, but if we look at that product, it's not a production friendly. So it's very important for a designer to understand and design with AI, which are production friendly, market feasible. So otherwise, beautiful image will not make any sense here. The challenge is not whether design should use AI. The challenge is how intelligently, ethically, and professionally they are using it. So that's the main concern. We are not against using AI, but how ethically you are using, that is the main point here.
Hi,
For
Roshan.
example,
I
yes,
just
sir.
quickly interrupt. You've been saying so much of interpretation. I'm using the same words. Would you be able to, because there are quite a few questions, I'll definitely like you to spend a little time on that. So if you can.
Just I think I am just 5 minutes away. I'm just wrapping up.
Okay.
Let me finish that. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So a quick example of this. This is just I have generated yesterday only to give you example. Like this is a print inspiration. I asked AI to generate a similar print. So AI generated exactly same. Then I said, do some little changes. So AI has done a little changes, but if you look at the reference image was already given to AI, so it created almost a similar kind of a print in terms of color, the motif language. So again, one more version, but if you look at, they look very similar to the original inspiration, right? And then I tried to give a different color palette. Again, they look all similar. Then I pushed AI to take inspiration where you have this kind of a detailing, but create totally different. So this is what AI has done to create very different, which is like a very botanical leaf and all inspired, but very different. So it's up to you how you direct the AI. Even this. So this is original inspiration. I kept the color palette same, but I changed this is very graphic. If you look at the line drawing and all, so we kept very different. We didn't use any graphic element here. And same here, like you have to, there are multiple AI tools available in the market. You have to try which one works for you because each one has their own strengths and weaknesses. You have to try all these AI tools in the market. And I think I have already addressed this ethical use of AI in our day-to-day design workflow. Yeah, this also we have already, this I already spoke. And these are few AI tools, like you can experiment for your research and ideation, ChatGPT, Perplexity, Copilot, Claude, Gemini, Notebook LM. So this is a research kind of AI tools where you can do a brainstorming and all. And for image generation, whether text to image or image editing and all that, you can use Midjourney, Gemini, Nano Banana, ChatGPT, Image 2, Kling, Meta, Perplexity, Images, Leonardo, Grok, and there are many more. Like you can keep. You have to see which one works well for you. And for the video, Veo, Kling, Sora, Van, Midjourney Video, Runway, Xfill, there are many more. And for presentation, Gamma, Slides, Canva, Beautiful AI. So here the idea is not to experiment all of them. Yes, you have to explore and see which one works well for you and then master that one. If required, then keep adding as per your requirement. So from my side, this is my closing point. What I would like to address here to all the attendees and all the participants is that the future may not be AI versus human. The real power is in AI and human collaboration. This is what I believe. And when guided ethically, responsibly, and intelligently, that collaboration can push creativity into places we could never reach alone. So we have to work together and keep pushing the creative boundaries. So thank you very much. Yes, ma'am, I'm done.
Great. Wonderful. That was excellent, Roshan ji. Now I really feel This has really made everybody's mind tick a little bit faster. If you'd like to just take 2 minutes break, because there are many questions I have for you.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I'm okay taking question, no worries.
All right. All right. So I'd like to start with the questions which have come up on the chat box, and perhaps in a short while, people will be raising their hands. Okay, to begin with, Mr. Ravi Shankar Gopal wants to know, how do we decide what data to scan under AI in the beginning? This
Okay.
would be to do with, I guess, design, I'm wondering. Mr. Gopal, is the question clear to you? Or would you
Hello.
like more? Is the question clear to you?
You can just repeat once again.
How do we decide what data to scan under AI in the beginning?
Okay, I would say, like we need to be very ethical, and we need to scan only which are available on an open platform, right? You cannot invade anyone, like without giving them any kind of a understanding. You can't keep just scanning, because, for example, the Dior SS26 collection, which I have shown, that's already available on a like open platform, and then I just took AI help to scan that and give me a report on that.
Right. So I hope that's helpful to you, Mr. Gopal. All right. There's a question from Rajnish Agarwal. Please share AI tools for each step, such as forecasting, mood board, evaluation, etc. So I did see a slide with all the names of the AI tools. Maybe that would be helpful. Or would you like to know more? Mr. Agarwal, if you are around, Mr. Rajnish Agarwal, if you are around, you may unmute yourself and add on to the question. Okay, I am not hearing from him, so perhaps we'll go to the next question. Mashal Batul, is AI helpful at all in technical design? I find that AI does not do very well with that kind of data. Is there any way to integrate AI into technical design, such as tech packs, etc., through intelligent prompting?
I think I have shared one example of a tech pack making, that was done entirely with AI. See, the problem is not with the AI. The issue here is not the tool, like it's input. What kind of a prompt you are giving is, like AI will just follow your instruction. If you don't say that I need a cup of tea from that table, if I say just give me something from that table, so AI doesn't know now, like what to bring from. So we have to be very precise with our ask. And I think one or two example I have already shared in my one of the presentation, where the entire tech pack was made with AI.
All right. I think you can learn to begin with. There's a question from Annie. What AI tool can we use to start learning?
See, there are different AI tools for different functions. So like we first do a brainstorming. So for a brainstorming today, people are using ChatGPT and Claude, and both are equally good. Even people are using Perplexity also. So brainstorming, they are very good. And for image generation, after your brainstorming is done, you have shortlisted what you want to create. Then going to image generation, you can use Midjourney, Nano Banana, GPT-2, and other AI, image generation tools. There are many available in the market. But today, maybe those AI tools are relevant. Maybe after 1 week, they won't be relevant, because the way AI is also upgrading themselves and evolving day by day with their updates, like it's very difficult to predict anything, like, because they're also changing, and you have to keep monitoring what are the changes, because Nano Banana was, like very, very powerful with image generation. And now with GPT-2, it's, like, so there is always a fight between AIs also, like giving a better result. So we have to keep monitoring and keep exploring that.
All right, all right. I think there's a similar question about from Atharva Jadhav about AI tools for brainstorming. I guess the answer has been just provided. So I'm going to move on to the next question. Can you please provide more details on AI tools, which I think is there in the slide? You might have
The
seen
last
it.
slide. Yes, yes.
Again, what AI tools? So you can see that that has been provided. Please share AI tools. Everybody wants to know what AI tools you have used. But do you want to clarify? It's not the AI tools which have created the product. It is starting with your work.
Right, right. It's the mind behind that tool,
Correct.
It's not a tool. See, it's the quality of your thought process, what you want to achieve with that. And tool is just, see, like, for example, if you ask me in our time whether Illustrator is good or Corel is good for a technical drawing, those who are good with Corel can easily execute the kind of result we want, So it's not about tool are just there to help you out. You can get a result as good as you want from each tool, depending on the quality of a prompt you are asking to do that. And yes, some AI, they have a good quality results and some are not, but all those are paid subscriptions. You have to subscribe that. And free ones, I'm not very sure because I don't use free ones. So the result is not that great with the free ones.
All right. I think that's a very important tip. So may I then invite Mr. Sahil Chawla to ask your questions? You may unmute yourself, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Good afternoon to everybody. Salil Chawla, Director, DFU Publications. I think I'll do disservice if at the outset I do not really appreciate Roshan ji for very, very wonderful, imaginative. I have to say, Roshan ji, you are as imaginative as AI. Wonderful
Thank you so
job
much.
done. In 50-55 minutes, you have almost demystified, debunked rather, I must say, what AI is and what exactly it can do for the world of textile and fashion. And I have to also acknowledge Lal Saab for acknowledging DFU services in public, at the outset, Thanks for the kind words. And I would say that no conversation is complete without AI. Because in the business parlance, AI is the only buzzword which is almost swept the entire world, And I have also to say that perhaps for me in the modern history, the biggest disruption is none other than AI. We have seen many tech cycles, but this is mother of all for me. This is my way of my lens of looking at this, because AI is like a falling knife situation. On one hand, it is bringing on the board immense, or so to say, boundless creativity in the world of design. On the other hand, it is taking away jobs of countless number of designers and threatening to do so every single day, Although in the same breath, I have to say it is strangulating human imagination also to some degree, because you have something to fall back upon it. So perhaps you are not pushing the boundaries what you used to do earlier. So I know there is a need of doing a balancing act, but naysayers are doing that. Computers, all those tech cycles also came, they did not really did as much, they did not undo. But I think AI has a much bigger potential to do and undo. So Roshanji, though you have taken around 1 hour to demystify it, where are you on this debate, how exactly to balance a strike in which we have the goodness as well as the apparent, the flip side, the ugly side of it. Thank you so much.
Okay. Yes, AI has, disrupted the entire creative, not only a textile, even, advertising, film, be it any industry, right? How I always, I'm always a believer of, if anything happens for a good, right? And any kind of a, like something new will have always the good and the bad side. Today, I tell everyone that, listen, AI is not a threat. AI is just a tool. The threat is not evolving with the time, not adapting the new technologies, and stopping your learning. Today, like with my kind of expertise, if I stop learning, and so I'm nowhere. So the only challenge is with ourselves. Stop learning, because we have to learn, unlearn. That is how evolution of human being. And today AI is not a challenge. My simple answer is AI is not a challenge. AI is not a threat, but the threat is, a designer who will adapt the AI is your threat. If you not learn the AI, the one who learns the AI will eat up your job, not AI. Then we keep blaming AI job kha gaya. No, I think that's not true. But yes, it is making us more efficient, more pushing our creative boundaries. It's challenging us, And I keep telling that now you have compressed the timeline of ideation. Now let's pay more attention to, because end of the day, product has to be done manually. So let's pay more attention to the product, because end of the day, product will reach to your customer. If your product quality is good, design is good, then they will be keep coming back to you. It's very important that we focus on the quality.
Right. That is very
Thank you
well
very
said.
much.
That's really well said. I have some very difficult questions coming up. One is cultural appropriation. This is by Dinesh Ram. Cultural appropriation is a very gray area in fashion, but culture is meant to be shared with others. But when certain groups exploit the designs of another group to profit off them, how will AI help deal with that? Will it help in accountability? Will it help safeguard the exploited communities? So,
See,
yeah.
I would say today with AI, the access is more easy now, right? And pre-AI also, if you like, we do Google, right? We do refer textbooks and publications to study any craft, but AI is making that access more easy. So I believe that it's just about the access, but giving a due credit to any craft and referencing is very, very important today also. I believe today we need to have more, like responsible. And as a brand, you cannot lift any craft without mentioning, without their permit. And like today, the world is moving towards more a collaborative kind of a working. So collaboration is very important. And if you like some craft, I think you have to meet them, understand more. That will add more design value to your product, because just online research or reading some book will not give you the depth of a craft understanding. So when you have to understand, you have to meet those craft people, and you have to acknowledge their contribution and give due credit. I think you have to have some kind of a collaboration where they also get benefit from that. So I believe that it's people need to think as a collaborative kind of a journey in this design. I think I'm able to answer your.
Yes, I think, yes, Roshan, that's really a great one. I have a question. I have a student called Atharva Jadhav. He'd like to ask a question. Atharva, will you like to just unmute yourself and ask your question about plain weave and satin weave, so about weaves? Can you unmute yourself, please?
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Hi, Athar. Good evening.
Sir, as a textile engineer or student, we study fabric structures such as plain views, twill views, satin, dobby, and jacquard designs. Sir, but can we use AI for developing or generating a new fabric view, structures and textile designs, and also which AI software or tools are useful for this purpose in textile industries?
See, for creating, see, there are already a softwares, whether it's a NetGraphic, Arane, or there are a lot of Weave softwares are there, right?
Yes, sir.
But now AI, as I said, AI is not a very domain specific, right? It's not meant for any particular industry. And right now it's a very, very generic. So what you have to do is pick any AI image generation, but you have to train your AI, because AI also takes time to understand your design aesthetic, what you want to achieve and all that. It's like a new team member in your team, which you need to do a proper induction, what the company does, what you do and all that. You have to make that person understand what, how you work. So the same way you have to feed a lot of data understanding to AI, that these are my yarns, these are my colors, and this is my weave structures I want to achieve. And then keep experimenting, the way I have done with a few my examples, a jacquard pattern with a tonal color, or with different yarns play, or with the colors and all that. Yes, AI will give you, but sometimes they are practical, some are not practical, depending on how good is your weave master who is going to weave that. But if you ask me, no particular AI tools right now, though people are working on that, but they are integrating in their existing AI tools. But that, I think, whether they have reached to that stage where they can actually practically apply, I'm not very sure. But in terms of exploration, you can use any image generation AI to explore that part.
Right. Okay, Roshanji, due to paucity of time, I have just one last question before I hand over to Dr. Lal. Could you please share your insights on prompt thinking for such kind of images and mood boards? Would you be able to answer that?
Okay. See, prompt thinking is very, very simple. It's not a rocket science. Suppose you have a new team member in your team and you have to ask some task to that person. How will you brief that person? So the more clear brief you will give to that new member, the more result-oriented task the person will give you, right? So in same manner, what exactly you want, right? You just note down as your, brief. And with the help of maybe, like, let's say if my writing skill is not that great, but at least I put across my key outcomes, what exactly I want. And then the English wording and all those AI can do, use whether Claude or a GPT to, like make it more AI friendly kind of a language. And initially you might need to give some image referencing to feed that to understand what exactly you want. And then eventually, like once you keep exploring and keep understanding and adding more inputs, AI will start understanding and will start giving you that kind of a result.
Right, Roshanji. I just have to say one thing. There are quite a few questions which still need to be answered, but we really don't have the time. May I request you, Roshan, to at some time be able to, we'll send the questions to you. If you can quickly give 1-2-liners, which we will then be forwarding it to these people who questioned us. Is that fine?
Oh, sure, fine. Yeah. Okay.
Right. So Dr. Lal, may I request you to please address?
Thank you, Professor Nien. What you have requested, Mr. Roshan, one more request is there that many of the participants want their presentation. And if you permit and send us the presentation, we will share with them. And regarding your
sorry, please go on.
yes. Further, regarding your presentation, I can only say wonderful and fantastic. And we are proud to have you in NISTI. It's really, you are going to an asset to NISTI, and we are thankful that you have joined NISTI as a patron. And to Professor Nien, I would suggest you take an tourist or you have a workshop in Mr. Roshan Singh's studio, if he
Yes.
permits, where you can take the students and as well as some NISTI professionals who are willing to go there. It is a fantastic work he has done, and he
Yes.
has demystified many doubts. Many
Yes.
doubts. The main doubt was that people were thinking that AI will ruin the employment. A lot of unemployment will be there. So his one wording, one liner, that AI plus human. It's not AI alone. AI
Exactly.
requires human mind, human brain. And similar was with the computer. The same thing here
Yeah.
that he has demystified. And one of the dangerous part which he has cautioned that it should be ethically used. Because AI has got many possibilities. You may use it unethically, you may use it ethically. So with this, I have all praise of words for Mr. N. Roshan Singh.
Thank
And
you.
really, Professor Nien, you are making always webinar a very successful event to my participants who are always supporting us and making NISTI a very vibrating organization. To my team, Mr. Bajpai, who is going to present vote of thanks, Dr. Vijay Yadav, who has not come there today, he was having some family function, and of course, Ms. Mamta Kargeti, Mamta, our office assistant, she is doing the publicity accidentally. And because of her publicity, and not that she, Professor Nien does it, I do it, Mr. Bajpai does it, all team members, they do their best to do the publicity of event the NISTI has got, and credit go to all of them along with the speakers own this intellect and its know-how known to industry. As I have seen in LinkedIn, Mr. Roshan Singh is very popular professional in AI and its used in creative designs. So thank you, Mr. Roshan Singh. And now I hand over again to Professor Nien to call Mr. Bajpai for saying vote of thanks.
Thank you, sir. Your kind words and your encouragement always. I really appreciate that. If I may just help you out, Roshanji, I know that you're put in a lot of your personal, individual work from your company. If you'd like, I think you can share an edited version of what is possible for you to have it out, if that works for you. Okay?
Sorry, I'll just interrupt. The presentation I won't be able to share due to my creative proprietary things.
Right.
So what people can do is they can visit my Instagram page, and
Right.
I have shared few works there as well. So I think the best would be my Instagram pages.
Right, that would be useful. Perhaps some of the names of the AI tools and some of those things that you had in the initial
Okay.
phase that you had worked out in terms
Right,
of
right.
which portion of the work should be can be handled
Fine,
easily,
fine.
right?
So what I will do is,
That is what would really would be
right, right.
useful. So
I
we'll
will.
be with you. We'll work it out, and then we will forward it to the individuals. All right.
Fine,
Thank you
sure.
so much. Yeah, sorry.
No, I will edit and I'll share the edited version.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you again, Roshanji. That was really very useful. And may I now invite Mr. Bajpai to give the vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Welcome, Mr. N. Roshan Singh in
Thank
the
you.
NISTI family as a patron.
Thank you.
I congratulate you.
Thank
And
you.
on the behalf of the NISTI, it's my privilege to extend a heartfelt vote of thanks for this successful, fantastic session of the webinar. Sir, you have very nicely presented that AI is not only the speed tool, but it is the tool of the creativity. And
Yes.
we have to control the AI, and not AI should control to us. But AI is such a powerful tool that it also decides the decisions, not only helping the decisions, because most of the business words, but and the person who are running the business, so they have no time. So that's why there most of the decisions are taken on the basis of the AI. Thank you, sir. Very well explained how it help in the drawing, design, pattern, weave structure, color and design, trend, collaboration, image, etc.
Yeah.
Really, it was a very fantastic and insightful session for all of us. I have a lot of congratulations for you. My special thanks to the participants, textile professional, researcher, industry leader, and the student for their active participation and engaging the questions. Their presence made this webinar a vibrant platform for the knowledge exchange. I would also like to thanks to the NISTI team, especially our chairman, Dr. R. Lal, for their leadership, for their tireless efforts and pushing all the team in a direction, creative direction. Thank you, Professor Nien Siao, for fantastic moderations, and all the NISTI veterans, participants. I'm very thankful on the behalf of the NISTI for their participation and inspiration. Thank you all for joining us despite your busy schedules. Let's continue to collaborate and drive progress in the textile industry. We look forward to meet you in the next session. Thank you all. Thank you all.
So I'd like to
Thank you,
thank
everyone.
everybody who's been here. And I see Dr. Krishna Nayak has raised your hand. But sir, can you write to the secretary at NISTI registered with your question, and we will get a response from Roshan ji. So thank you all.
He can ask his question even now
Okay.
if
All right.
Mr. N. Roshan Singh permits it.
I hope Dr.
If time allows, yes, I can take one more
Yes,
question.
yes. Please go ahead then. Roshan, I hope it will be okay with
Oh,
you.
it's okay.
All right.
It's okay.
Thank you. Thank you for taking up my first question as well. I'm Dr. Krishna Nayak. Okay. Coaching with textile design, specifically woven designs. The earlier question about prompt thinking, you did justify it. I just wanted to ask you one thing. When we feed the things to the chat GPT, should it be a blank one like the things which you told? Like, because we have already fed so much to it, it understands it quite well, any AI. So should we go for a just blank one to get the best results? Because at times what happens, it confuses with the previous inputs, whatever we have given.
See, in chat GPT, are you creating your any conversation as a new chat, or like you just keep chatting in a one same chat?
No, we normally create new chats depending upon the area, what we want to research or whatever we want to create.
See,
But I have seen that kind of thing, that it confuses a lot with whatever previous data, whatever we have given. And for such magnificent results, what you have shown, I mean,
no,
should we?
Dr. Krishna, sorry, Krishna, see, like the GPT memory is like our brain memory, we have a lot of things in our brain, but still if I have to talk in particular topic, I'll talk about that topic. It will not jumbled up with my previous discussion with other one, right? So it depends on how it's all on your asking and prompting, Are you making AI confused with your prompting? So your prompting has to be very clear, not to confuse the AI. So if you're talking about weave, then just talk about weave. Don't give too many examples where you are making the AI confused. So AI is very intelligent tool, provided are we using intelligently? Are we asking intelligent question, very precise question? So that's the crux of prompting, that we have to be very, very straight, clear asking, not to confuse the AI.
Okay. Thanks
I
a lot.
haven't had that kind of a situation, though my memory of ChatGPT is like huge, because I work as a consultant with many companies. So it doesn't mean that it get confused that which company I have to, I'm asking for that.
So it was actually very evident from your presentation.
Yes.
You have mastered the prompt engineering for textile
Dr.
designs.
Nayak. Thank you, Dr. Nayak, for a very incisive question. This was very important to wind up the talk. So thank you, Roshan ji. We really look forward to many more instances of AI conversation. And thank you all participants. So we'll see you soon at the next webinar.
Thank you so much, everyone.